any chance that some of the phrases we're using were authentic satanic verses?
We got them from the public library, not a book bound in human flesh.
I know, this is a step down from Julie and Anna. I get it.
Hey, you can turn this off, guys. It's fine.
Yeah, suddenly he stops focusing. Yeah, I don't
Want to kick things off with some introductions and titles?
David Goodman. I'm executive producer and co-showrunner with...
I'm Matthew Scott Kane. I am the creator and co-showrunner.
Awesome. All right, well, I guess I will kick it off since my mouth is...
All right.
Nights
Do
and
you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Knights in Satan's Service.
Nights and Satan's Service.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. You have the premiere tomorrow.
Yeah.
You have the panel tonight.
Yeah.
All things that lead into the roles for Hysteria. I just want to know how those emotions are for you, being able to share that with the world today at New York Comic Con and then the rest of the world tomorrow on Peacock.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me personally, I wrote this script back in 2019. So I've been with this for so long. We sold it to a different network. The pandemic hit. It went into turnaround. Eventually, Peacock bought it from the other network. We get everything up and running. We get a writer's room. David comes on board. We're off to the races. We go out to Atlanta, Georgia to go shoot this. And 1 month into production, the Writers Guild strike started. And then,
pesky writers.
And then the actors strike started shortly after that. So we had a whole summer after we had been building up for so long to finally do this show. And then everything just stopped.
Yeah.
For 4 months, 5 months, maybe longer.
Yeah, no, a long time. 6 months.
And to come back to Georgia, finish the job, come back to LA, edit it, get everything put together was so gratifying for me. But to be here, frankly, is very surreal in a way that I don't think I've processed yet. I've been with it for so long that I don't know what it's going to be like. We're about to show it to people who've never seen it. I don't know. David?
I'm very optimistic. I've been on a lot of shows. When I read Matthew's pilot script, it was one of the best scripts I've ever read, best pilot scripts I've ever read. I was so excited to get to be a part of it. Getting to see how we won the casting jackpot with our adult leads and our kid leads and incredible directors, incredible... we've made something that I am so proud to be a part of. And I know, well, I shouldn't say I know, but I know it's going to connect with a big audience. There's a lot here for a lot of people.
Excellent. So let me ask, what inspired the concept of Hysteria, and how did the story evolve during development?
Yeah. So in 2019, when I first sat down to write this, what was going on in the world was I felt there were things changing when it comes to facts and how they're disseminated. This was a big time for the word fake news, right? People are spreading disinformation, and there's not a lot to do to check it. So when those, mom and dad on Facebook read this fake news, whatever, they now internalize that, believe this is partly maybe how the world works, and now they're afraid of this, that, and whatever they read about, but it's not true. It's not true, but it is real to them. It is now real to them in terms of how they see the world. That freaks me out so much, that you can just lie about one thing and change the way an entire country can think about X, Y, and Z. So I was looking back through history in terms of when has this happened before, and right there was the Satanic Panic, where moms and dads were telling their kids that the Smurfs were going to try to brainwash them to be sleeper cell Satanists, and the Ninja Turtles were in on it too, and it was so silly. It felt like a really fun era to explore something scary that's been going on recently. So we took it back to the 80s, where you can do, John Hughes, you can do heavy metal, you can do horror, you can do all that stuff, and have so much more fun with it there than you could talking about it today or even 10 years ago or anything like that. So
I noticed a thing that you do in this series that when you just mentioned John Hughes. It must have been one of your inspirations.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of break you do break the mold on certain stereotypes with characters.
Yeah.
Like Spud's character, who's actually into metal and not stereotypically into a certain genre of music. And then you have the bully, who's he's a jock. He doesn't look like the average jock from, say, a John Hughes movie or any of those other movies. What inspired you to kind of play with those characters and kind of throw that in the storyline?
We never wanted anything to feel too same. We never wanted any piece of this to feel like, oh, it's just that tortured football player. It's just that whatever. We wanted everything to feel like it had a little bit of a flip on it, even when it comes to the casting of our main three adults. It's like Bruce has made a killing of a career on doing horror comedy and really funny roles and all of that stuff. Not to say that he doesn't have those opportunities here, but he's more or less the straight man.
Yeah,
he's the guy trying to hold this town together. And same thing with Julie and same thing with Anna, is that we never wanted someone to just, come in and do that thing you did before. And we took that same approach to the actual character archetypes themselves. We don't want the geek to just come in and do that thing again. We wanted to bring something fresh into it.
And then we hit the casting jackpot. Those, especially, obviously with our adult leads, but the actors playing the kids, they came in and nailed those parts.
Yep, absolutely.
The way Kazai nails Spud, he blew every other actor out of the water.
Yeah.
So there's also a way in which you find a talent, somebody who tells you something about the character you might not have known. Most of it was on the page, but then you have the actor come in and say, oh, there's like a little bit of chaos to Kazai that really wasn't on the page, but then we wrote to.
Kazai specifically was not necessarily what was on the page, and I loved it so much that he was clearly doing his own thing over there, and it was working way better than what was on the page. So on at the end of the first day of shooting with him, I gave him a blank sheet of paper, and I told him to go home and write Spud's real name on it, because we never know Spud's real name. People just call him Spud. And then fold it up, put it in his wallet, and never tell anyone. So only Kazai knows Spud's real name.
Still.
Yeah, if you get a chance to talk to him ever in the future, try to get it out of him, but I told him. Not a soul.
Don't tell anyone.
Not a soul.
I wanted to ask about the appearances of the devil or the demon that's appeared. Because early in the series, it seemed like it was set up so that it would seem like maybe people were just hallucinating or drugged out.
Yeah.
But then toward the end, particularly with Linda's possession, it felt much more real. Mm-hmm. So was that the intention, to kind of like make it questioned, or how much of it was real?
Well, how much of it was real is never a question that I'll answer for any of the show.
Okay.
Because I think thinking about this as a show with a lot of blurred lines between subjective and objective point of view, I think the use of it is, it creeps in from afar. The first time that she sees it, it's from behind a plane.
Yeah.
The next time she sees it, it's coming after her. And then we see it's not just a Linda thing, right? Other people are talking about this thing that they've seen and all that. There is a hint in the show, in the finale, that it's a really blink and you miss it kind of moment that will give viewers a pretty good idea of who the demon really is. But I will not spoil
I'll have to watch it again.
I have to watch it again. Yeah, it's in there.
It's in there.
Yeah.
Your turn.
You're talking about like the whole fake news, and that was the inspiration. So I'm wondering, 5 years later, obviously, is it a happy coincidence, the premiere of this show this year?
If anything, it really reinforces some of the themes of the show, which are that the Satanic Panic was not the beginning of this, nor will it be the end of this. It was happening way before 1989. It is stretched out way afterwards. I did think, I was scared when we sold it in 2019 and then got kind of put on a shelf for a little bit, because I felt like, man, this might not be relevant. Whenever they dust it off and say, let's go, it's going to be relevant
Forever.
for the end of time. It's always going to be from this point forward. Yeah.
It's not even just about our current moment anymore.
Yeah.
It never really was. That was his initial inspiration, but we discovered as we're writing the show, it's evergreen.
Yeah. Of course. Thank you.
We're wrapped up.
Thank you.
We're gonna.
She had one. She's the last person.
Oh, I've actually had all my questions answered.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, great.
Lucky for
Never
you.
been so lucky. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna keep you guys. Everyone stay seated, and then we're gonna grab photos of you guys.
Okay.
And we're gonna rotate into the next
Okay.
one.
All right.
We'll start doing the music
Thank you, guys.
with
Are the Evil Dead references